Yo, what's going on YouTube and welcome to Goal Line Hockey. It's Kevin Forte and today we are taking a look at the recent rumors around the Montreal Canadiens potentially looking to move up in this year's NHL draft. So there's a lot of interesting talk right now going into this year's draft. At the top, it's pretty much determined who's going to go first overall. It's not like it was the last 2 years where there was some question about maybe who could go first overall. Not the case this year. Connor Bedard is your guy. It is going to be Connor Bedard. There is a 99.95% chance the Chicago Blackhawks take Connor Bedard first overall. Which leads to the next point, which is, well, then who goes in the next top five, right? Who goes 2, 3, 4, and even 5 in this year's draft? That all seems to be pretty concrete in terms of who's going to be featured in the top 5. It's more a question of who's going to go where. Now, there's been an interesting wrinkle to this, which kind of creates more of the illusion that this could actually be possible, which is the Montreal Canadiens trading up for the second overall pick. So the report basically states that, the Montreal Canadiens are very interested in Adam Fantilli, who is projected to go second overall. But the Anaheim Ducks in recent days, since that report, have actually come out and said that at that second overall pick, they're actually looking to potentially acquire a guy named Leo Carlsson, who is one of those guys we've been talking about. That's probably going to go at the very least in the top 5, potentially top 3. Leo Carlsson actually seems to be the front runner for the Anaheim Ducks at that second overall pick. Now, obviously, that creates a lot of questions about what is Anaheim's mindset here, because ideally, I think they keep that pick. Now the tide has changed on that because people thought at the time, oh, well, Anaheim might move that second overall pick to move to the 5th overall pick and then do whatever they're going to do, get the assets that they can from Montreal. Well, now it sounds like I would say that Anaheim's pick is probably safe. Now comes the question of, well, then what happens at number 3, which currently is the Columbus Blue Jackets draft pick. Now, the Blue Jackets have, at least right after the draft lottery, there was a lot of talk that they might be willing to move that pick. And since then, it kind of sounds like things have slowed down on that front. The Blue Jackets have put a lot of cold water on any rumors of them moving that 3rd overall pick. But for the right price from Montreal, would they consider? So, right now, what you've got is Connor Bedard first overall to Chicago. Now, in this hypothetical scenario recently, Leo Carlsson would go second overall to Anaheim, which would leave Adam Fantilli on the board still for Columbus at 3. Now, Columbus would have to make the decision, A, do we decide to keep the pick and take Adam Fantilli? Played at the University of Michigan last season. I'm sure the Columbus Blue Jacket fans would be happy about that. Or do they ask the Montreal Canadiens, and is that offer enticing enough? Hey, listen, we'll give you Kirby Dach or Juraj Slafkovsky. That's the rumors I've been hearing. It's either Kirby Dach or Juraj Slafkovsky with the 5th overall pick in order to get either the 2nd or potentially 3rd overall pick in the draft. There's also been some questions about San Jose at number 4 because this is the thing now, because we're starting to see teams kind of set in who they really like. And for the last week and a half now, we've been hearing that San Jose wants to keep that pick and they would like to draft Will Smith. That seems to be the guy that they're targeting. So in this hypothetical scenario, you've got Connor Bedard to Chicago, Leo Carlsson to the Anaheim Ducks, Adam Fantilli at number 3 would go to the Blue Jackets, and then at number 4 would be Will Smith. Now, if I'm Montreal, here's kind of the overarching thing. Are you willing to give up the 5th overall pick and one of Kirby Dach or Juraj Slafkovsky in exchange for the 5th overall, or for a pick that's probably going to be 2nd or 3rd overall? Because once you get to the Sharks pick at 4, you're not trading that much, right? You're not giving up Kirby Dach and the 5th overall pick to move up to the 4th overall pick. That's just not going to happen. The idea of that just really doesn't work. So kind of how this is kind of working out right now is this is going to come down to Jarmo Kekalainen and the Blue Jackets saying to themselves, do we really like Adam Fantilli enough where we will not take the 5th overall pick and whatever other player they'd be giving involved for Adam Fantilli? Is that worth it for the Blue Jackets? Now, in my opinion, I don't think it's worth it. Now, I wonder if the Montreal Canadiens will go to the Blue Jackets and say, listen, we talked to Anaheim a little bit about maybe moving up to that second spot, but if they're going to take Leo Carlsson, well, now the third overall pick from Columbus could be had. Hey, listen, we know you're trying to get out of a rebuild. You've got, you're rebuilding your defense. You've made a couple trades already this offseason to make your team better. Hey, you're playing in a tough Metropolitan Division. We'll give you Kirby Dach or Juraj Slavkovsky. Oh, yeah. And we'll give you the 5th overall pick, which you could also move that 5th overall pick to bring in somebody else in the hypothetical world, right? So that creates a situation where Jarmo Kekalainen and the Blue Jackets have a little bit of leverage, and all because the Anaheim Ducks might actually be willing to pass on Adam Fantilli at number 2 to take Leo Carlsson. Now, I am going to admit, I am a little surprised that Anaheim wouldn't take Adam Fantilli, if this is indeed the case. Again, take this with a grain of salt, but these are reports we've been hearing. The Blue Jackets gain leverage from Anaheim saying they won't take Fantilli. If that's the case, again, if that's indeed the case. So if I'm Anaheim, I would be selling that ticket to Montreal. But it kind of sounds like if they're willing to take Leo Carlsson, that's the guy they want. They want Leo Carlsson. And the weird thing is, it's in a position where if Anaheim does take the 5th overall pick, let's be honest, Leo Carlsson's not going to be there. Because at this rate, he's not going past 3, right? If Connor Bedard goes first, Fantilli goes second to Montreal, right? 3rd overall, he's going to Columbus. I just doubt that they would be willing to pass on him. And same thing for San Jose. If Leo Carlsson or Adam Fantilli is still there at number 4, San Jose is going to do the easy pickings and take any of those guys. For some reason, if, either Columbus or San Jose ends up taking a guy like Dalibor Dvorsky or Zach Benson or Will Smith, they're going to take the easy picking. So at number 5 is kind of a weird spot for Montreal because, let's be honest, that group of players instantly goes down from the 5th overall pick down. So it's going to be interesting to see how things kind of transpire here. But at this point, the Montreal Canadiens, they really want that top pick to take Adam Fantilli, either 2nd or 3rd overall. I just think it's going to be really difficult because selling the Ducks or the Blue Jackets on the idea that they're going to get a good player at 5th overall, it's going to be a tough sell because the level of player instantly drops. Unless someone is really sold on a guy who's been growing in the prospect rankings, guys like David Reinbacher, the top defenseman, maybe a team wants to go after him in the top 5, or Matvei Michkov or Ryan Leonard. Unless a team is willing to take probably one of those 3 players, which is still in the top 10, but could potentially jump into that top 5, that's the only scenario where I see Montreal having the leverage to take that chance. Because that's the thing, right? If it's San Jose's pick at 4, you've already seen, they already took Michkov or Reinbacher. So now Carlsson or Fantilli's available. But I just don't see that happening. I just really don't. So let me know what you guys think down below. Would you guys, A, take that trade of either Kirby Dach or Juraj Slavkovsky and the 5th overall pick for either the 2nd or 3rd overall pick to take Carlsson or Fantilli? Or are you going to sit on that pick and say, we are sold on this guy, we want Carlsson, we want Fantilli, we're not moving that pick? Let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.